PPE shortages during the COVID pandemic created a paradox in which they had committed to doing no harm, yet were infecting their patients. Shortages led to the repeated donning of single-use masks, gowns, and face shields. Nurses jumped to resource their own supplies, but were met with intimidation, suspension, and termination. Nurses were forbidden to speak with media, advised to draft advance directives, and chastised for scaring patients with masks. Caught between saving lives and protecting themselves, and distressed by the lack of trust in administration, many left nursing permanently.
Hello, I'm going to share with you some main takeaways from our reading on nurses' experiences during COVID-19. So first, the PPE shortages left many nurses vulnerable, with some even sanctioned for having to use their own protective gear. This showed some issues with the hospital supply chain and the need for flexible policies to let the nurses protect themselves.
During COVID-19, nurses faced immense challenges from inadequate PPE to unimaginable patient loads. Our class material highlights that rather than being seen as heroes, nurses rather raise awareness of the urgent need for safe staffing and supportive policies. Stories from the Peace and Power Reading Group echo this struggle. Nurses suspended for purchasing their own PPE and others forced to reuse masks and even turning to crowdfunding for supplies. Both resources reveal a systemic prioritization of profit over safety, with healthcare workers risking their lives in harsh conditions.
COVID-19 exposed the fragility of our healthcare system. Nurses, our frontline heroes, were forced to work in dangerous conditions due to the severe supply shortages. Many were punished for trying to protect themselves and their patients. This crisis has highlighted the urgent need to prioritize the well-being of healthcare workers and to invest in resilient supply chains. As a group, we discussed our consumption habits, the resilience of our systems, and importance of our local production and self-sufficiency.